Guys, welcome to another Dragon Ball Legends video, and today I am showing you a rating chart that I have for the best units to use in Dragon Ball Legends PvP. These are the best units for January 2023 and will most likely be the best units, potentially with a few changes, for February 2023. So yeah, without further ado, let me get into the list. So the first unit that we have is an obvious one, that would be Ultra Gogeta Blue, and the reason for that is because his kit is insane. He can nullify range attackers with his gauge, and he can do that 3 times in a battle. He gets card draw speed upon attacking, he nullifies cover change upon his green card, and on top of it, he nullifies endurance by rushing, which is an insane mechanic to have. And his blue card does significant amount of damage. We call it impact damage, but it's like on another level of impact or impactful. And on top of it, every time he uses a strike card or blast card, it actually reduces the cost of his blue card, which allows you to reserve more ki than you normally would not have. So yeah, that gives him the #1 spot. You can practically build a team with any sort of hype unit, and he will still be able to outclass or outclass your opponent. So yeah, the best teams for him currently is Fusion. So Ultra Gogeta Blue actually brought the Fusion tag back into the current meta. So yeah, Ultra Vegito became relevant, Ultra Gogeta became relevant, and yeah, he has that presence, because he is that guy. Now, the only thing that can make him become second place is the fact that he's currently on boost. Now, the second unit for the top #1 position in this game is Beast Gohan, and that has been something that's been in the game for almost at least 4 months, since October, and Beast Gohan has always been the #1 unit. The only difference between him and Ultra Gogeta is that Ultra Gogeta Blue is currently on boost and Beast Gohan is not on boost. So the moment Ultra Gogeta Blue falls off boost, Beast Gohan may, and I'm saying this, take it with a grain of salt, he may take over and become the #1 unit once more, until there's an actual unit that is still good off boost. And most of the units on this tier list right now are currently on boost or is about to fall off the boost. The ones that are not on boost will be lower on the tier list, as you are able to see, or will be able to see. Now, moving on to Beast Gohan, he does, well, everything, as you should know by now. He nullifies endurance, he can destroy all your cards just by a touch of a button. He gets 15 counts of nullification when the battle starts, and he gets much more damage. And he can continue his combo for a very long time, and he's extremely tanky, depending on how many stars you have him at, of course. Now, Beast Gohan's ultimate can kill you. However, there is some units now in the game that he is not able to one-shot, but he can still two-shot them, which is good enough. The only weakness that Beast Gohan has currently is the fact that endurance units are not able to actually survive, because you have Ultra Gogeta Blue that nullifies endurance in a rush. You get Goku Black that nullifies endurance just by living. You get the androids that does the same thing. So yeah, you get Super 17 that uses his green card, and then he can also nullify endurance. So that makes Beast Gohan have a very big weakness, because the moment your opponent sees Beast Gohan, you can guarantee that they want to rush him at all times. So that's what makes him get the second spot. But the moment the boost falls off, he might actually go back to being #1, the king. And yes guys, I actually main hybrid, so yeah. Moving on, so the #2 spot for the top 10 would be going to the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta Legends Limited. They were probably the best banner that we got for the Legends Festival. Their banner had the most potential, and it was the best banner to summon on. If you summoned on that banner, good for you. It was really good. We got the GT Duo. They can switch, and when they switch, Vegeta becomes so much stronger, and at the same time he nullifies cover change, which makes him insane. And then if you switch back to Goku, whatever damage Vegeta did, Goku gets that included into his blue card. So if you use the blue card while you switch back to Goku, you can actually do extreme amounts of damage. And their green card can also push you back, which is amazing. Now, moving on to another contender for the second spot would be Zamasu. Now, when the Vegeta and Trunks banner came out, no one really gave a crap about Zamasu. We thought this guy is not going to do anything. It's just a 1% sparking unit that's going to be trash. And oh boy, were we extremely wrong. This unit literally can take away all your ki immediately, and he can do it in steps. 3 times in fact. And after doing that, every time he uses his green card, he gets a strike card that he can continue a combo with. And he has endurance. So yeah, Zamasu can survive extremely long, he's extremely tanky, and on top of that he regenerates health consistently. So to take Zamasu out, you need to use an ultimate. He actually forces you to, because a Rising Rush won't work unless you use Ultra Gogeta Blue. So yeah, Zamasu is definitely a contender for second spot. Now we're getting to the next section, which is the spots from third place to 5th place. And we got Android 17 Legends Limited that just came out. He would be 3rd. Then we got Pan, which is 4th, and then we got the Legends Limited Dragon Fist Goku. Now the reason why 17 is 3rd and not actually a contender for 2nd or 1st is because 17 does not have any teams that he can rely on. Since he is a support unit, you would think the Android team would have an offensive unit that is good enough to be in this list, but unfortunately they don't have an offensive unit that can be top 5. And on top of it, 17 has incredible support. His green card also nullifies endurance, and he has an ability to basically stop Ultra Gogeta Blue from destroying him in a rush, or he can also stop Goku Black from killing him with endurance nullification, and he's the only unit in the game that can currently do that. However, having one unique ability will not actually win you matches, because what you could do is you could use Ultra Gogeta Blue, you could use his blue card and then switch to Beast Gohan and use another blue card, or use a strike and you can take out your opponent that way. So that's why he does not get 2nd or 1st place, because all he does is he prolongs the match. But he is currently on boost, so he does do a lot of damage, but I am afraid once he falls off boost, he's most likely going to lose that spot. Moving on, the best demon child in this game. Now, Pan, on the other hand, is an investment unit. It's a unit you should invest in because she can outright outlive most units in this game. She has the potential to consistently reduce your ki by using her green card, first of all. Her blue card gives you a Dragon Ball every time she uses it, consistently. And she can tank most combos in this game, besides a few blue cards from UGB or from Super Dragon Fist, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and maybe a few others. However, her defenses are a little bit lacking now because she's not on boost, so that's why she gets 4th place. But if you pair her up with Beast Gohan and you let her die, she gives Beast Gohan an extra 15% to his strike damage, which makes him even stronger. So that's why Pan will always be a top 5 unit, because she is directly linked to Beast Gohan. She will always be there as a backup to give him extra attack, and if you are in a pinch, Beast Gohan will be able to win with a 15% extra. So that's why she gets that spot. The best demon child we could ask for. Moving along to the 5th or the top 5th unit in this game, that would be Super Saiyan 4 Goku Dragon Fist. Now the reason why he gets 5th place is because he has the most hard hitting ultimate in the game, the hardest hitting ultimate. His Zenkai was extraordinary, most likely the best Zenkai we ever got in this game. So he definitely deserves the 5th spot. He can practically one-shot so many enemies, and on top of it he gets 2 rescue covers where he can rescue one of his allies at any point, which is amazing to do. So he gets 5th place for that. And he's also a yellow unit, which means he can take out purples. And guess who's a purple unit? Well, UGB, Ultra Gogeta Blue. And at the same time, if you switch to him, you can also use his green card to take out a potential threat, and you might have your weaker unit be in the match because he will force you to switch out, which gives him that fantastic 5th place. And then moving along to 6th place would be Android 17 or Hellfire 17, and that would be from the Dragon Ball GT saga. Now he can nullify endurance on his green card, and his blue card hits potentially hard, but at the same time, if you rush with him when he activates his green card, you can nullify endurance immediately. And he has one of the bigger heals in the game. He can actually heal really well. So if he survives a rush, or if he survives an ultimate or blue card and you activate his main ability, he will get most of his health back, and that's a really awesome move. However, he is no longer a top 5 unit because of units like the GT Duo and LF17 and Pan, so he did fall down a bit. Now this one might be a bit controversial. Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, or better known as MU Weak, because he was not on this list in a very long time. The moment Beast Gohan was introduced in the game, MUI became dead. He was trash. He's still trash because of Beast Gohan. The only reason he's back on the list is because Universal Saga, or Universe Rep, got a buff. And that buff actually helped him become better in terms of doing damage. However, his defenses are extremely weak. So if you use your blue card with MUI, or if you dodge, you actually do much more damage, and his ult or his ultimate does hit really hard. So that's always a good thing for him especially. So yeah, he deserves a spot on this list. Please let me know if you agree with me. But yeah, I gave MUI the 7th spot. Well, for now. However, we don't know in the future if he's going to get the platinum equipment, or if Universe Rep is going to take over this game. And if that happens, he may actually become a top 5 unit. Maybe. Okay, moving on to the last 3 units. We got Goku Black, we got the androids, and we got Super Ultra Vegito. Now, Goku Black is a phenomenal unit. He nullifies endurance just by existing. He nullifies element downgrade by using his blue card consistently. And at the same time, he hits super hard with bleed damage because he can slice you up. He has what they call slice damage in the game, and the more he slices, the more bleed effect you get. So he could potentially take you out, and you can make a really cool future team with him, LF17 and the duo androids as well, which is really brilliant. Then we get to LF17 and 18, the tag team, or the tag duo. They have potential to always be on this list because they also nullify by existing, and they get constantly card draw speed. And if you switch to 18 and you use a green card, you can take away your opponent's vanish. And if you switch to 17 and you use his green card, he gives you card draw speed constantly with blast cards. The only unit that is a threat to them currently, because they are a range type, would be Ultra Gogeta Blue and Beast Gohan, and the tag 4s because they are strike. Now you need to understand that we're currently in a strike meta, so every match you're playing is against units that have blast armor or are constantly striking you with strike attacks. So if you are not able to hit or land your blast arcs, you're not going to survive. And lastly, we have Ultra Vegito, who had, when I say had, it was a very long time ago. I think it was when the 4th anniversary just ended. He had one of the hardest ultimates because he also had slice damage, but it would one-shot you. However, that no longer happens. The only reason he is on this list is because Ultra Gogeta Blue made him stronger in terms of the Z ability, and at the same time his green card actually does help you because it pushes your opponent back and it nullifies cover change, and on top of it, it gives Vegito card draw speed. And yeah, with that in his kit, he is able to actually potentially assist fusions or assist fusion warriors to winning matches. And if he is a last standing unit, he does get ramp up damage as well, which makes him stronger the longer he fights. So with that being said, he is potentially a top 10 unit for now, but that spot can also go to Tapion, who does death damage if he dies. So that's something you could also switch in if you wanted to. So yeah guys, that's my top 10 list for the month of January 2023. I will do another list in Feb, at the end of Feb, to see if there was any changes. And if you do disagree with me, please do leave some criticism. It's always good to get that. But yeah, if you do agree with me, please do like and follow me on Twitter as well. I will leave my description or my tags in the description as well. With that being said, let me show you guys the top 3 teams that I would use potentially for the next PvP season. So yeah, let me just show that. Now there is only 3 teams that you would see if you're trying to make it into the top 10k of PvP, and these teams is just to get into the top 10k. Now note, they won't be the same as any other content creator that you might see, because I don't have all the units. So this team here is the future team, you could say, and the first slot is empty because that slot would go to LF17. However, I am not summoning for him because I don't main fusions. So you would put him there, you would use Zamasu and Goku Black, and you would have a perfect future team that will definitely get you into the top 10,000 every single season, unless the meta changes again. And then, sorry about that. And then another top team would be androids. Now with androids, the same thing would apply. You need LF17 in the slot, and then you can use Hellfire 17 and the tag androids, and you would also be able to get into the top 10k with a team like that. But please note, this guide is just for you to get the gems from being in the top 10,000. For you to get into God rank, you cannot use this team unless you have them at very high stars, or you would have to use a very different team depending on what the meta has. And the last team that you could use, second last team you could use is this team here, and that would be the tag GT duel. You can also use Goku Super Saiyan 4 Dragon Fist and Hellfire 17, or you could use Baby if you have him on the Zenkai, because his heal is quite good, and that would also get you into the top 10,000 quite simply as well. And then finally, the last team is the team that I use in PvP. This would be the hybrid setup, which is one of a 3-team squad that can get you into God rank quite easily. And this team basically relies on ramp up damage from Beast Gohan, and then Pan is there to control the key, and Future Gohan there is to support both of them. And at the same time, Future Gohan's blue card does seal your opponent's cards as well, and he has endurance. So I got 2 endurance units and Pan, and this team can get you into the top 1k of PvP. With that being said, this is my current rank. I'm currently in PvP, well, as soon as the game decides to load. But yeah, today is Tuesday, so I will be grinding the last of today just to keep my rank. And as you can see, I'm currently 4,121 in the world. By the time I finish play today, I should be back in the top 3k, and that's where I will end for this season. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and I will get to it as soon as I can. And yeah guys, that wraps up the video. Hope you enjoyed that. If you do like this sort of content, and if you feel that this was informative, please do subscribe, follow and like. I will leave all my details in the description below. As always, take care, and yeah, have a good day further. Cheers.